Hello and welcome to the Three Man Weave Best Bet Show. Oh, Matt just sat down. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Good to see you. He's not responding yet. Welcome to the show.
Sorry.
It's a wonderful Saturday slate, as usual. Pre-holiday slate. We got our spinning hats on. You can't really see my propeller with my background, but rest assured it's there and it's spinning. We got the rundown is not on the screen quite yet. We are hoping to get that back next week. Had some great behind the scenes help on the tech department, so appreciate that person reaching out to us and helping my illiterate technology self get through that. But the rundown is in the description of the video if you want to see what we're going to talk about today. And of course, if you have a question on any game, send it through the chat, and we will get to it in the chat mob section. Fellas, I don't really have any takeaways this week except Jim. I'm worried our Tigers are going to kind of get crushed on Monday to Illinois in the bragging rights game.
Yeah, I think that could be ugly. Mizzou's defense is not going to hold up there. I worry about my Packers tonight in a major showdown against your Bears, Kai. Just a little too injury ravaged for my taste. And then I just want to say last night I stayed up and watched Washington Seattle and got rewarded with one of the worst three-point shooting performances by two teams combined that I've ever seen. Completely hideous offensive performance by both squads, a bad loss for Washington. I know Seattle is not terrible, but you can't lose that game if you want to be an at-large team. And the Danny Sprinkle era is having problems, Matthew.
Yeah, the injury excuse only goes so far. Got to beat Seattle there. I have no takeaways, Kai. I think Mizzou will compete with Illinois. That's all I have to add.
I appreciate
Matt,
your
you're
confidence.
very quiet. You're very
I have the
quiet.
wrong mic, maybe?
No, I think your mic's fine. You're just talking like you're whispering. So
I'm very
Yeah,
speak
it
up,
sounds like
young boy.
sounds like you're reading a good night
How
story
about
to
this?
your
Boy,
child.
okay, there we go.
Yes, yes. It's time for the adult voice now. Put put the baby to bed, and it's time for the
I just
adults.
laid her down. She's going to bed.
Speaking of adults, we're gonna get started. Arkansas and Houston. That's an adult style game. This game is in Newark for some reason, Newark, New Jersey. I'm a Houston boy generally, fellas, but I think Arkansas can kind of hang in this game. I was super impressed by them withstanding the Texas Tech hot shooting and ultimately winning that game in the second half. They could have won at Michigan State. They beat Louisville. Matthew, I assume you are also leaning towards the Razorbacks, but what are your thoughts in this game? About a 4.5 point spread in favor of Houston.
Yeah, I only have a few bets today. This is one of my. I do have Arkansas on my card. I just think their size and length up front is going to be um, a good a good mitigating factor to Houston. I don't like the way Houston's guards have played lately. I feel like we're waiting for like an E-man breakout or like an Uzan breakout, and they've just been a little too erratic. I think they miss Crier. And as we've seen, I think their front court, Sampson's still trying to figure out what he's going to do offensively. He's like very gung ho on trying to play inside out, and I think with this roster, it's actually the wrong way to play. I think they should try and play through their guards.
Yeah, Houston playing inside out is insane. You don't have front court scoring
Yeah.
options. They've at least given up on turning JoJo Tugler into Jalen Roberts. Like they're not consistently ISOing him in the post. And if they did that against Arkansas size, I think it would go really, really poorly. They've got to let Flemings be Flemings, get into the lane, try to open things up that way, still attack the offensive glass where they are starting to raise back up. I think they were like 40th in offensive rebound rate a couple weeks ago, up to 21st. But yeah, Arkansas is an underdog with this talent. I just think they have a level they can access when they need to. When they look across the court and see a worthy opponent that is a really, really good team, as we've seen in some of their best competition, played up against Duke until the final like 90 seconds and got forked. Played up against Michigan State on the road. That effort has aged quite well.
Mhm.
Texas Tech, Louisville, they look really good when the opponent is good, and that's why people are excited about their ceiling as potentially the best team in the SEC. They're shockingly more like who they're gonna be to me. Like they know their identity more than Houston. Cougars still figuring that out. So I definitely lean Arkansas Kai. I didn't bet it because then I realized I'd be betting John Calipari against Kelvin Sampson. But other than that, it sets up pretty well for the Hogs to me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. They're going to be tested by Houston's perimeter, their pressure, but I do think Acuff is legit. They have not had no problem turning the ball over this season so far. I do think Houston's going to keep getting better and better as the freshmen continue to evolve. Flemings is awesome. My number would say probably bet Houston -4, but I am staying away in this one. And I lean towards Matthew's bet on Arkansas. Next game, Kentucky, St. John's in Atlanta. Supposedly, Jaden Quaintance is back in the lineup for Kentucky. I'm sure he'll be a little bit limited. You can see that in the market. This one got up to, it was at 4 in some places last night, or when it opened, 3.5, 4, down to 1 right now. Jalen Lowe is ramping back up for Kentucky. He's very important for them. Diabate Jim just came back. It's time for Kentucky to kind of realize its potential. However, St. John's needs this win like blood as well. Rough start, inconsistent play. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, this is the Take Bowl. Every person watching Talking Head is going to have a feast after this. No matter what happens, one team is doomed, one team is back. I am more of a St. John's leaner here, just a pure gut sense. Like I think Patino, the master against the student, matters a little bit. I think Kentucky got right a little against an Indiana team that has some physicality problems and couldn't find a way to hit a shot against Big Blue Nation. St. John's is still closer to like being a really good team to me than
Yeah.
Kentucky is right now, and factoring in Quaintance returning is exciting long term. I don't know what he's going to look like tonight. I don't know how much he's going to play. Does the offense look better with a guy in there that can't really do much offensively? I don't know. I think St. John's, despite the tweaks that Patino's working with in his lineups, Matthew, I like the Johnnies here. I guess now that it's -1, I'm pretty darn
Yeah,
enticed. I'm not going to make it a best bet, but that is where my head and my gut are at.
I agree. I kind of like them on the neutral side too. It's like their last two semi-big home games, Ole Miss, DePaul, one conference, or sorry, yeah, DePaul conference game. Ole Miss just a big game. They didn't really. I think Patino was frustrated. They didn't really play their best offensively. They struggled against Ole Miss, and to some degree against DePaul too. I give DePaul some credit there. I think today they actually played to their potential. I think we've seen their ceiling. The Baylor game was kind of the one that sticks out. But yeah, I think just the way that Patino's shuffling through his, if anything, I think more first half is my stronger intuition. It feels like I didn't check the first half second, but I think with how frequently Patino likes to shuffle his lineups, I feel like they'll have to get off to a good start here, Kai. But yeah, I mean, maybe Kentucky's depth comes back in the second half. I think that's kind of the edge that they're going to have going forward with the healthier bodies they're getting back in the fold.
Matt, do you
Yeah.
like Bryce Hopkins props as the revenge against
Revenge
Kentucky?
angle.
Ooh,
Yeah, I don't know. At this
been
point,
a while.
at this point,
Yeah,
everyone's played for every team, so I feel like the
right.
revenge angle is dissipating. It's like you've been in
Yeah,
bed with everybody, so it's like who cares?
and he played for
Yeah.
Calipari, not Pope, and
Yeah,
yeah,
not right. Different coach. I think the
Curious,
coach thing matters.
curious how shooting is in this game. I don't think it's gonna be too pretty. Neither team is really lighting the nets on fire from deep.
Is that the
Very,
Hawks arena, correct? I
yeah, it
assume,
is.
yeah.
And yeah, that probably. I hope they get rid of the NBA 3-point line. I saw a different arena do that. That probably helped tamper down some of the long threes that college players tend to take when
That's
that
been a
line
real
is on the
problem.
court.
I thought that we'd be like aware of that by now, but like there's been
No.
I think multiple coaches have called the arena in advance to see what the situation's going to be. Like Seattle even went to the venue last night, I think, in advance to go practice not shooting. It worked for them, but yeah, it's stupid. I don't get why we can't figure that out, but
Yeah, I'm just
we're at.
curious how JQ plays, how he matches up with Edgefer, how much he plays. I really like Lowe back in the fold for Kentucky. Again, I liked Kentucky at the bigger price. Right now, I'm not taking it, and I think it's a coin flip contest, and that's what the market says it is. Okay, other game in Atlanta. It's UNC and Ohio State. CBS Sports Classic, I believe Jim told me. I forgot that was a thing, and it is finally today. I always think it's early in the year, like November, but it's December. Seth Trimble is back for North Carolina, and I think the market has adjusted for it already, Matt. -4, Tar Heels. Lots of points in this game, I think. I don't know how Ohio State stops UNC's offense. Illinois put up 1.26 points per possession. Northwestern put up 1.15. The Heels are huge. I don't know if Tilly can really withstand that front court. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like UNC, and we talked about how good Dixon's been too. So I hope Trimble doesn't try and overassert himself. I think he just needs to kind of quietly uh, ease back into the offensive flow. I think the size matters for sure. I haven't liked Ohio State one game all year, and maybe I'm being. I mean, they're 39th in Ken Palm. I think ATS, they're I think 2 games below the Mendoza line. Off a double OT win against West Virginia, great. I don't care. Northwestern's terrible. Not impressed by that. Illinois, they are actually competitive for most of that game. I'll give them some credit. And I don't think Notre Dame is very good. I think your Mizzou Tigers made them look better than they were. But still, I think
Oh,
the
God.
heels prevail today. I agree. I laid the 4. I think anything higher than that's a little too rich, but I think they get it done today. I hope, but Trimble's not a part of my cap. I think that could actually be kind of a him coming back could be a negative if he is too aggressive with how good
Yeah,
Dixon's played.
yeah, UNC's kind of figured out a defensive identity. Like they just force you to execute against immense size, and you don't get free throws, you don't get second chances. You better hit your first shot, and it's going to be a jumper because they take away the rim completely with their size. That means I think Thornton has a huge game against drop coverage, like elbow jumpers. He'll probably take 15 of them
Hmm.
in this game. Like you could have a 30.5 assist game from Bruce Thornton. I still think UNC wins. There's
Yeah.
too much balance for them, too much productivity in the front court. I think Ohio State's interior gets like massively exposed. Brandon Noel, I am watching you today. I think you're going to have a tough day at the office against that Caleb Wilson Vasar combination. So yeah, Kai, definitely like UNC on the spread, not quite enough to like lay it. I
Yeah.
guess maybe I have Ohio
Mhm.
State either rated properly or too high, where I just made this game 5 and not gonna push it. But gut sense, everything tells me the heels. Ohio State just can they make enough jumpers to hang around against drop coverage? We'll see.
Yeah, same. I said Thornton pretty much gets his gets whatever he wants. He has his way, but I don't think anybody else does in Ohio State. And I think ultimately I lean towards the over, lean towards UNC. So we're all kind of saying the same thing here.
I mean, the fact that he went off against Illinois and they still couldn't win that game or cover, like that's just like kind of where Ohio State is.
It's
That's
just happened
really
last two
similar,
years, right?
Yeah.
really similar defensive scheme to Illinois to UNC right now. Just like, hey, have fun from 15 to 17 feet. Good luck.
Okay, final game before we get to chat mob part one. It's in Madison Square Garden, the Garden. Texas Tech, Duke, Matt's Dukies. I'll start off this, Matt. I really think Dukies win by doubles. I just
I agree.
there's very little margin for error for Tech right now. If Anderson has an off game, if Toppin has an off game, they're done. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Nine looks big, but I think we all thought that 12 looked big against Texas, and we thought that what was the Arkansas number 8, right?
Big.
I think
Yeah.
I ended up pushing 9 in that game, I
I
believe.
guess so. Say those have played to their number. I think this one plays similar-ish to their number. I don't think Texas Tech totally folds, but I think Duke wins pretty handily. How they guard Toppin will be interesting. Jim, do they double? Do they play straight up? That's kind of the I'm sure Shire's whole scout is around how do we just contain Toppin. But if they figure that out, I think they have plenty of length to throw at Anderson. They'll be fine there. Make enough shots. I think Boozer has there's no cover for Boozer on Tech unless Lamont Watts is the guy I don't think that's gonna work well. So yeah, I think Duke wins comfortably. 9 does feel rich. And obviously Duke's familiarity playing in the Garden I think does matter a little bit too.
Yeah, it's going to be the heavy Duke crowd. It's
Yeah.
always what Cameron North is that what they call it, Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
The
started to
annex.
like maybe this is my anger at myself for riding so hard for Texas Tech in the preseason. I've started to worry this is going to be like Purdue just pummeling, ruthlessly hammering Texas Tech by 30. Like Texas Tech can't guard you. They cannot get stops. And so Duke will exert their dominance inside, take advantage of depth issues, particularly in the second half. Definitely thinking no Bamgoy here. So how does Texas Tech stop anything at the rim? Can they compete on the glass? Major fear there. And then Tech is a little smaller and reliant on Watts booty ball and Anderson shot making. And Duke's defense is so unbelievably strong. Switchable, you're not going to get a lot of great mismatches to attack here in that booty ball look. So I think this ends up being kind of a mashing. That is my fear here. So Duke heavy lean for me, Kai.
I did lean the over, but I guess the Garden's been kind of an under venue. And not I think historically and this year too.
I
So
lean over too, though.
154. So,
All right. Chat mob part one. Let's do it.
Okay, Matt, going to you first because it's a fellow Matt asking the question. Colorado versus Stanford. I think Noah Buko Corey. I
yeah.
believe he's out till after Christmas. Colorado's taking a little money. What do you think here? They're around -5.
I haven't liked the Buffs all year until today. I think without a Corey at altitude, I think second half is where I think they have consistently extended their margin. I think that game flow plays the same today. I think the Buffs get it done by 7, 8.
Okay. Kai, do you have anything on Joe Gunderson's question? Buffalo at Western Michigan. I actually really like the under, and I'm going to throw it in as a best bet for us here. I'll
Wow,
get
you
the
got
number right
something.
Nice.
now. Yeah, but do you have anything on the side or total? 150.5 is my number.
No, not really. I've been impressed with Buffalo, as most people have. They're top 200 now in Kim Pum, so that's huge for where this program was. Um, so really no take. I like them better at home, but I kind of think they get the win. Would lean their way if anything on the side.
Yeah, just looking at the total, I think the game does slow down. Buffalo's defense not been good, but uh, if they don't live at the free throw line, which is a risk, then I think they'll struggle to score a little bit. Western Michigan definitely not going to score much. Just need Western Michigan to not play a crazy zippy up and down style. Offensively, they do that. They're outside the top 200 in possession length, which belies their inside top 150 of overall tempo. I'm going to lean more on that possession length. It's a little bit slower. So under 150.5 there is a best bet for me.
Oh
All right,
wait, real
Matthew.
quick. Sorry, I missed the Buffs games at Phoenix, not altitude. I think I said that in my
Yes,
breakdown.
correct.
I still laid it. Yeah, it's not, but just disclaimer. Sorry, my fault.
Okay, we like it.
Hand up.
Matt, you are getting what is one of the ugliest games on the slate, maybe of the season. I can't believe somebody asked about it. David Martell, the battle in Louisiana. The Cajuns headed to Louisiana Monroe. I cannot
Favored.
believe Monroe is favored. What is going on? The Cajuns are a disaster right now. Quantus White
Yeah,
got escorted out of the arena last
Yeah.
game. They still don't have Jameron Keller back. This feels like, to me, take the team that's not horrendous right now. Like Monroe's
Yeah,
at
but
least
which team
fighting.
is that? Which team?
Saying like trying to fight. They
No,
went to double OT with
you're
Southern
saying
Miss.
Monroe. Okay, yeah. I think
Yeah.
we instinctually think, okay, we know Monroe's horrible, and we've been late to understand how bad the Cajuns have been.
yeah.
You can't bet Louisiana without Keller, and you can't bet Monroe under any circumstance. Period, in my opinion. Um, Unless you're playing South Alabama, which I think they've covered the last three games against Riley Zone by like a million points. I passed, easy pass here. I do lean toward Monroe, but
I
why?
Yeah.
took I took the Cajuns and I expect to
Did you?
lose. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Good.
expect to
Good.
lose.
All right. Kai from John Hudak. Maryland at Virginia. Kind of an eye-opening number for me, really high. And I'm a major Virginia proponent. So even at that
Mhm.
number, I have to lean Maryland at 14.5.
Yeah, I was staring at 16.5 yesterday. And I was like, you know what? I bet Virginia might even take money. I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Nope,
right.
went down. So I settled for 15.5 this morning. I took Maryland. Yeah, it's just too big. I have a lot of respect for Virginia. Certainly got burned against them against with Texas, excuse me. They were on fire. I don't think it was a terrible bet. I think Maryland can hang in 15.5. Yeah.
Maryland was
14,
beating
14 and a
Michigan
half.
at halftime. Like that
Yes.
team is not
That is a huge
horrendous.
deal right now. That is a huge
Yeah.
deal.
So I'm with you. It's just a little too high. 14.5. I would take the Terps.
I took Maryland
Ma-
first half. It's just
okay.
gonna
There you go.
copycat the game flow from Michigan. So just 20 minutes all I need today, Buzz. Give me a hard 20.
Matthew from Playing Devil's Advocate Pod. Memphis headed to Mississippi State. Kind of two teams that are circling the drain a little bit, or not really having the season they thought they would. But Mississippi State, a 3.5 point home favorite. What do you think?
I lean toward Mississippi State. Again, yeah, this is another one like the Louisiana cap. I just don't know what either team is psychologically right now. And Memphis played, I'm not sure they played well against Vandy, but they played effectively ugly in a way that made that game close, and that worked. I just don't think on the road only getting four. I think they could actually kind of roll over here. So just got lean to Stark Vegas today, Jim.
All right, one last question before we go back to the outline, and I'll continue accumulating chat questions. Kai, it is an early tip, a game they play every single season in Detroit, Oakland,
Mm.
and Michigan State. Can Greg Campy and his boys hang around within 20 of the mighty, mighty Spartans?
Yeah, I was trying to look back at a couple of results. Okay, last year, 19-point game. Year before, can't find it, can't find it. No idea. Not sure they played a year before.
I think historically Oakland holds up okay in these games.
Holds
I
up
just think there's so
okay.
much respect between both sides as it doesn't want
I've
to run it up
gotten
if
I
he has.
just
Yeah.
I've
worry
gotten
about
forked in this game before.
the
Also
rebounding.
that too, yeah.
The rebounding very much worries me. It's going to be an absolute horror show on the glass with Oakland zone and how they don't rebound out of it and how dominant Michigan State is on the boards. I would lean Michigan State, but nothing strong.
Yeah, I guess it's 18.5, 19 now, mostly 19 across the board. Uh,
No
I lean to
Mashure
the
for
under. I
Oakland.
lean
I
to the
think he
dog.
matters too.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's out for the season, Matthew.
He's done with the year, right? Yeah. He's good. I
Yeah.
mean, big time
Yeah.
shooter. I think helps under for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
he's
right,
out.
let's go back to the outline, but quick plug for Basket Under Review before we do. We are always active in there. The Discord, the website is also fantastic. Check out the weekend watch list. I contribute to that every Saturday morning, talking through some of the best games of the weekend. I've got the Stats by Will and Jim pod on Wednesdays. There's also the Basket Under Review pod with Eamon Brennan. Incredible writing from Will Warren, Brian Ralph, a lot of guest writers. The Jakari White piece today from Joey Dwyer is fantastic. Check that out. And then, of course, the Discord. We're talking about games all the time in the betting channel. There's injury news. There's just talk about potential portal guys. It is a college basketball fan, casual, whatever it is, just a dream site. So only $10 a month. The link is in the description. If you're already in, tell a friend. Basket and Review, please join. All right, back to you, Kai.
All right, we're going to Indy. Auburn, Purdue, very pro Purdue crowd at the Pacers Arena today. Um, Auburn's played three elite teams, fellas. They lost to Houston by 1. I was very impressed by that effort. They lost to Michigan by 30. They lost to Arizona by 29. I'm not sure you can take too many takeaways from those two games. And I was thinking, Jim, I was like, wait a second. Well, Purdue's played one elite team, and it was Iowa State, and they got beat by 23 at home. So I'm not sure either team has really proven much. I don't think Purdue is quite Zona and Michigan level. I don't expect a 20-point blowout here. I don't think Auburn, though, is stopping the number one offense in the country. But what do you think?
Yeah, I conflicted here. I thought it was a little high, but then Purdue can just put runs on you, and Auburn will play up and down. There's the mysterious Tahad Pettiford shooting split stats that one of the Auburn fans in the Discord brought to our attention, that he's like way worse shooting at home. Obviously, he's going to be away from home here. Perhaps you get a big Pettiford game for that reason. There is a nice athleticism level in the front court for Auburn. They're not going to play like super deep drop and let Braden Smith just pick them apart. I think that is a point for the Tigers. But Matt, I just like I made this right around what it is, and matchup wise, I don't have any like super strong signal to put me on a side. I respect Purdue, and I think they could still have like a massive offensive outburst against a team that Stephen Pearl was the defensive coordinator under Bruce, but they still have a little bit of sloppiness on that end sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, they're still trying to find. I mean, I know that they do play a decent amount of zone. They will mix and match defense. I think you're going to have to against Purdue. I think if you just play straight up, they're going to carve you to shreds. I was trying to think, what would I make this game, Kai, if it was at Mackey? And then how much am I discounting home not being like it's still obviously you got to give them some home. I think Purdue rolls though. If you look at Purdue, zoom out, fast forward 2 months from now, I think the Iowa State game looks like a not an outlier, but just like, okay, that's the bad matchup Purdue doesn't want to see. I don't think Auburn has anything remotely close to what Iowa State brings to bear on that end. So yeah, I like Purdue here.
I do think they score. TKR and Clough should have no issue in the post on the glass. I don't think Auburn's going to exploit the free throw line like it normally does either. Purdue famously very disciplined on defense, even though Pettiford and Hall have been awesome this season. I do think they're very, very good. I actually lean towards Auburn keeping it a little close. I did not bet the game though. I made it about what it is, 8 or 9. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I don't know who guards Keyshawn Hall. Big scoring wing is like
No one.
Purdue has nothing to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. TKR, I'm not sure can stick with him on the perimeter. Wouldn't bet on that one. In Indy as well, it's Northwestern and Butler. I think it should be a great game. I think Butler is better ultimately, Matthew. I know you said Northwestern was horrible. I don't think they're quite horrible, but I have been very impressed by Butler, the Virginia win. The Bulldog, I assume, blue, will be in the stands. I've been very impressed by their aggressiveness. Ajayi looks basically like he's back at Pepperdine right now. I think they're going to live the line, win the board battle. What do you think in this game? Spreads like 1.5 in favor of Butler.
I just don't like Butler without Jalen Jackson. I think it's a deja vu of last season where not having a true point guard sort of limits their offensive ceiling, although they have been better on that end this year so far. I think if you isolate the games without Jackson, they've just been a more defensive minded team. I kind of like under here, frankly. I know both teams have been scoring more and not defending as well as we traditionally think that they do, but my strongest lean is more under here, Jim. And I think Butler finds a way. I'm still pretty convinced Northwestern's just not very good.
Yeah, Kai and I both like lost our faces kind of dropped when you said they're terrible earlier.
I think they're pretty bad. I really do. I mean, like they've done nothing impressive. Like the DePaul game I watched, I was like, oh wow, Arrington Page looks really good, and it's like, well, we know DePaul's not really that good.
Hung with Virginia.
I guess Virginia game was good. I'll give them that, but other than that, they've done nothing really, in my opinion.
All right. Well, Matt, I hate to say it, one of my best bets on I won't be giving it now, but one of my 5 best bets from Basket Under Review is the over here. I still think it gets up tempo. I think both defenses are really bad. Northwestern outside the top 100 and probably deservedly so at this point. Don't really have an interior anchor. Page is more of a scorer, and like the wing size athleticism, guard size athleticism, like little Jaden Reed and unathletic Nick Martinelli. Not a ton of
Aw.
like stoppers there. Hey, he's a crafty old man game, but he is not a lockdown defensive player, unfortunately. So I think both teams score really efficiently. I kind of acknowledge Matt's right with Butler's pace maybe not being quite the same without Jackson running the show.
But
So
stink.
I'm
Kai's boys
banking,
stink.
yeah,
Not
stink.
my boy, Wilbon.
Yeah, banking a
No,
little more on efficiency in that one. But Bizjack and Ajayi, I think, can score. So yeah, lean to the over Kai. Don't have like really anything on the side.
how about the exciting whites in this game? How about Martinelli and Bizjack? Back and forth. Exciting whites.
There you go.
Two gamers. Uh, yeah, I lean towards Butler a little bit. I don't think Northwestern can. They have to shoot, and they can't shoot. I don't think you're beating Butler inside. So I really think the Bulldogs get it done. Okay, Colorado State, Utah State. I noticed Matt and I are opposite this game, which we've tended to be several times this season. I just really like Utah State, man, and I really like them at home, especially. The spread does seem big on the surface, but I do think it's warranted. I'm not totally sold on the Rams yet, Matt. I know you are. They're a top 20 offense, but it's driven by a 45% three-point clip, which, heck, it's continued so far, and maybe that's for real. But their defense is horrible. I can't get over the Denver loss. What do you think? Why am I crazy for liking Utah State or
No, you're
leaning
not
that way?
crazy. No, they're not crazy. I think I like both teams, frankly. I just don't think 8 points is what separates them. The hard to put a lot of stock sometimes in these MTEs, especially on the back to back to back. But like the South Florida Colorado State game was pretty impressive to me. And I know Utah State went down to South Florida and got smacked. That was a way worse spot in my opinion. This is not Colorado State's first true road. They already went to Loyola, Chicago, came up to our neighborhood, and well, I guess everyone beats Loyola by a million points. But I like that this is not their first true. They've gotten out of their comfort zone, and I think this game's close. Conference game. We'll see how this offense can play against the zone. It's been like one of the best half court man to man offenses in the country. But I just the way they shoot the ball, the way they pass it, I think they're gonna be just fine against the zone.
That's my fear. Like, yes, you've got this team shooting 45.4% from three that is like, sorry, but it's unsustainable. Like every guy is shooting like 10 to 15% better than his career averages. I get that they get quality shots, but it just feels like an early season wave. But I don't have the guts to fade that team against a zone defense. It gives up a ton of threes. Like I think
That's what I'm worried
they can
about.
still, yeah, can still get a lot of comfortable looks from deep. Utah State will. Maybe they won't sit in the zone the entire game. I think Calhoun is flexible
Mhm.
and smart enough to not just like, they're torching the nest. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
But then can they score against Colorado State's defense? Probably. Kai, this one just kind of the numbers seemed a little high, but the matchup scared me from taking the Rams.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Jordan's a game time decision. He's not. I thought he was more probable. It sounds like he's a true coin flip, and
Yeah,
he's a huge piece to this matchup. He's kind of I would think, a good zone buster, trigger man guy in the middle there, wherever they put him.
I am really hoping Calhoun game plans for that. I assume he will. It's like, hey, oh, the number one offense or three
Conference
point
game,
shooting
yeah.
team's coming into play. Let's sit back in our zone. Let him shoot. Let him shoot. I don't think he's going to do that. And man, how good has MJ Collins been for Utah State? He's been incredible this season. Him and Falslev, I love it against Colorado State's porosity. So I took Utah State 7.5 when it was back there. I still lean that way at 8. 8.5, probably getting to the point where I'm not too comfortable taking. Okay, last game on the rundown, then more chat mob, then best bets, then we send you on your way. San Diego State and Arizona. This one is in Phoenix, so well, actually, it's kind of close to San Diego, I suppose, too. So not too much of a travel for the Aztecs. But, Jim, it's hard to get the taste of the 40-point Michigan loss out of my San Diego State mouth, if you want to call it that. I didn't like that game. I watched it, and I thought the Aztecs looked horrible. And Arizona's winning games by an average of almost 23 points per game. Top 10 on both offense and defense. They scare me. So even though the spread seems high on the surface, about 14, 14 and a half, 15, I did not take the dog.
I think this could be a bloodbath on the glass.
Mhm.
Yes, Magoon Guath is a nice shot blocker. He weighs like 15 pounds more than me, and he's got to go against Koapit and Krivas and Owaka and Karchenkov. Just looking back at that Michigan game, Kai, Michigan grabbed 40% of their offense or 40% of their misses and also shot 66% at the rim. I think that's kind of the recipe here. And Arizona plays up tempo enough to turn this into a blowout. So despite it feeling a little high, Matt, I wrote this game up for Action Network and settled on Arizona as my
Hmm.
bet. They have just smashed some teams that I think are better than San Diego State recently, and they've also got, I think, clear matchup edges in this. San Diego State tries to turn you into a jump shooting team. Like their defensive 3-point attempt rate is very high, but Arizona just doesn't care. They just bludgeon their way to the rim. They got their battering rams out and they just hit you until you can't get hit anymore, and then they start dunking and laying the ball in. So I think they can stretch this out. And San Diego State also kind of due for some 3-point shooting regression in a negative way. And that's scary when you need to
Yeah.
make jumpers against a team that's huge like Arizona is.
I kind of think the Aztecs compete here. I just feel like remember how we talked about this team a month ago. They've obviously not been the same team we thought. They've been a little bit banged up. I know getting Big Goon back and has been sort of a work in progress. I've had some other guys hurt as well. I just think this is a game where they look at their schedule. It's like if you have any chance of an at-large at this point, you have to have. This is kind of like a you don't have to win this game, but I don't know how you're getting to the tournament as an at-large without having some meat on your resume coming out of non-con in the Mountain West. And Dutchers played like last year they kind of shocked Houston when no one really took them that seriously. I think this is maybe a game where they're kind of close. They're older. They are big. They're not as big as they have been, but they are still long and big. I don't think they're killed on the glass. I don't know. I just kind of a gut. I think we see kind of the. It's one of those games where we look back in 2 months and we say, oh, yeah, we knew what this team could be in certain spots, and maybe this is the game they show up. So I took the
Boy,
points. We'll see.
I hope you're right because I could use some hope on the Mountain West title that I hammered on you San Diego State preseason.
Yeah.
Um, Boy, I just don't think Guath has like. I think I agree with Jim. He's not strong enough to combat Pete and Krivas, and I just don't have a lot of confidence in him after watching the Michigan game. Now, my eye test, hey, it's one game. Okay, maybe it looked better this time, but market's with you, Matt. Took Aztecs is down to 13 and a half, so took a little bit of money, but it will not be my money.
Maybe
What
it's
about your
a
boy
Majack
Heidi,
game.
Kai? I know you
Maybe it's
love
a
My
Miles
Majack
boy
Heidi.
game for
Miles Heidi,
Heidi.
Camden Heidi. Why I say Miles Heidi? Camden
Miles
Heidi.
Heidi. Camden
Miles
Heidi's the
Heidi.
Texas wing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's fine. Whatever.
He's bad. I,
I'm
I
I'm
Yeah,
I
I
totally
agree.
soured on Bird too after the Michigan game. Like Bird's actually not that good. So there we
Bird's
go.
good. He's good. No, he's
Yeah. Okay. Again, I watched the worst game of San Diego State's life. Okay, that does it for the rundown. Chat mob part two. The best bets. Jim, take it away.
Let's do it. Remember, folks, basket under review. Join if you haven't. We are big proponents of it. We are in there all the time and help out at the site. So please join if you haven't yet. Get on that. All right, Matt, starting with you. Eastern Washington Whisperer. They're plus 11 at Utah. Elevation
stop.
game here. I kind of lean towards the Utes, but it's really hard to back them as a favorite right now.
I like Eastern Washington. I lost a lot of money, like a lot of money on this team this year, like a depressing amount of money. I'm tired of backing them. I did bet them small today though, stubbornly, because I think Utah's not very good. So, and Eastern Washington has played well in altitude multiple times, like taking Colorado to overtime. Like no one does that. I mean, yeah, frustrated with East Washington. I did back them small. That's all I have. Sorry for my
Okay.
frustration.
Staying
No,
a
it's
little
okay.
elevation, Kai headed to Reno, or Boise State is headed to Nevada, another Mountain
Yeah.
West tilt. The current line, Boise minus 3.5 or even minus 4 out there.
Yeah, I've been really tempted to take Nevada plus four for a while now. I'm
Corey
ultimately gonna.
Camper,
What's that?
Corey Camper is out, I believe.
Yeah, I'm ultimately gonna stay
You
away.
care. Okay.
I'm gonna stay away. I still think Nevada's kind of bad, so I am not gonna pay to figure it out. Boise has clearly figured something out since their debacle in the first game against Hawaii Pacific. So I'm staying away, lean towards Nevada on the number, though. Yeah, Matt's right, though. If Corey Camper's out, okay, that's easier then. No thanks.
There you go. Matthew, more elevation. Denver and Northern Colorado. A question from Corp. Is this the shootout he envisions with two potent offenses?
I feel better if Denker is playing, which I don't believe he is. I'm not sure what the assumption is there. Not play at Texas Tech. Didn't matter. Texas Tech's not very good. So that's sort of how I look at that game, frankly. I think this is sort of an efficiency over Jim. I know sometimes your totals is more pace driven, but I think this is like neither team can really guard the other, is kind of my think on this one. So
Yep. My numbers pointed to the under, and I looked at both defenses and was like, stop expecting either of those teams to get a stop on either end. So I ignored myself on that one.
I didn't realize that
Kai,
they're
two.
literally 365th. Sorry, Denver, and like they're actually horrible defensively. And
They
then the eye
can't
test backs
guard.
it up. They just look very unathletic, if I'm just being
Yes,
honest.
that's why I've stopped backing them in basketball games.
All right, Kai, we go from elevation to the flattest part of the country, Des Moines, Iowa, where
Mm.
Iowa is playing
Hi.
a semi-home game against Bucknell. Really odd that it's not in Iowa City.
Weird.
But big spread here. 25 was the last I saw. 25 and a half right now. Any thoughts for you?
Main board game with Bucknell.
Yeah,
Is
Strange.
it?
weird.
I'm seeing
I
it on the
The
extra board.
oh sorry, it's extra
the
board. That's my bad. It's extra board.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, I misspoke. No, I'll be honest. I have no take in this game, guys. No. So
Okay.
I have nothing.
I think Iowa's been actually really good at beating bad teams this year,
Yeah, they
and
have.
they have tilted a little more towards overs against bad competition, and then slowed it down when they're underdogs against better competition. So I would lean towards the over, but nothing like
They've
majorly
beaten
strong.
5 or 6 teams by 25 plus. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got a few questions from Justin. I don't know if it's Justin Kripe, Justin C. Ripe, whatever it is. Sorry, Justin. Matt, Kent State at UMass. You are my MAC man, so tell me what the direction is here with the, not the Rockets, Kent State, Golden
Flashes.
Flashes. Thank you.
Flashes.
Yeah.
Um,
Pick 'em game.
I kind of like Kent State here. This is it's weird thing of Kent State is like this crazy. Not an, I wouldn't say a full blown over team, but man, they've gotten willingly dragged into some shootouts. Like the Troy game sticks out, and the Cornell game. Like Cornell does that to everybody, right? But the over is my first lean here because Massachusetts. I mean, this Martin team is crazy chaotic. I love their point guard, Danny Carbucci, I think.
Puerto
Um,
Rican guy, I think. Yeah.
but I think Kent State gets this one. I do. I just the UMass is too volatile. I think they're kind of a spot situational Jekyll and Hyde team, and this is one where I think the road team comes in. The better coach team comes in, dominates the glass. I think they get this one.
Mr. Gillespie going to be all over the boards in this one. Okay, Kai, back to elevation in the Mountain West for you. Grand Canyon headed to Wyoming. Sonny Wicks and his team completely surging right now into the top 100. Grand Canyon still lurking in that area, very talented team.
Mhm.
Wyoming a slight favorite here, 2.5 in the market.
Yeah, they've taken a little money. I was actually sorry. Well, Grand Canyon took money at first. I think it's back to Wyoming. I'm surprised that Grand Canyon's taken money, Matt. I think I expected Wyoming to. They've been, like Jim said, excellent. I made this spread shorter because I still have Grand Canyon rated highly, and I haven't caught up with Wyoming's rating yet. I wouldn't want Grand Canyon here. I lean towards Wyoming. Someone in the chat said Wyoming's weather's been horrible, so maybe Grand Canyon's travel's been awful. That's just speculation, of course, but hey, another factor. No, I would lean towards Wyoming if anything.
Yeah, I think my line Wyoming's taken. They've been bet against the last 3 games. I mean, the people bet the house on. Um, I guess there was some buyback against South Dakota State, and like we clearly realized, okay, Wyoming was the better team. I like Wyoming here. I do. I think they're at altitude, at home. Grand Canyon's been playing better. I still don't trust their backcourt. I think they're sort of lacking a perimeter identity, frankly. And Wyoming's guards are terrific. And I think better backcourt at home, pretty simple. Spot to me feels fine, not disadvantage, whatever. So I like Wyoming here, -2.
His best bet, Matt, was Georgia Southern -2.5 versus James Madison. Do you have any
Interesting.
take on that game?
I had a lean toward them against Georgia State, who I hate, but Georgia State being healthy scared me off. I did not trust my number. I kind of agree with him though on this one. I know JMU is you think instinctually a good bounce back candidate here. I just don't think they're very good. I think they're relying a little too much on McBride, the Nevada transfer, who's a good player, but I think he's a winning player. I think he's kind of an issue defensively sometimes. I like GSU. I agree. I've been sort of stubbornly a fan of Henry and Co, but this year I've abandoned that. I in this spot I like them today.
Okay, Kai, setting you up for one I think you have a stronger opinion on from Nick Sheeran. The Liberty Flames, who let you down
Yeah,
in Raleigh, North Carolina, but now they're
boy, they
headed
did.
to Dayton. Do you think they can hang around plus 11.5 was last the number he sent? It is 10.5 now in the market.
Yeah, well, Zach Cleveland is the key. He missed their non D1 game with illness. McKay said he hoped to have him back for today. Uh, I'm hoping he's back because I do think the Flames hang around within double digits. I think Dayton's really good, but I think it bears repeating. Liberty is a very, very good basketball team. The NC State game it was a worst case scenario, nothing's going right sort of
Yeah, I
game. They
agree.
could not hit a
Bad spot.
shot.
Yeah, no.
They had open threes, and when they couldn't hit, it just devolved into nothing. It just unraveled. So I think Liberty can hang if Cleveland's in. If he's out, absolutely not. Would not take this team. But plus 10.5 is a bet for me with him in.
I think
Yep.
Will Wade's rant was sort of rooted in that Liberty game to some degree too. Like I think he realizes they didn't get lucky when they killed Liberty, but I think they were fortunate to your point, Kai, that they've been kind of skating by on some fortunate opponent shooting to some extent. Yeah, I'm with you. Liberty against this caliber of competition, they're good,
All right,
very good.
Matt, what do you think of undefeated Miami, Ohio going to Ball State? The home Cardinals getting 8.5 right now. I lean pretty heavily towards the home team.
Wow, good for you. I took them first half. They've been pretty consistently melting down second half. I think they just have kind of a losing mentality. They got Joey Hart back, who's been really good. And I think Miami has obviously been a little bit more mortal on the road. I think the home team competes the first half, but then I think ultimately falters late.
All right, I'm going right back to Matt here, Kai, because you're getting too many Mountain West questions. It's time for Matt to deal with one.
Thanks.
The Fighting
The
Timmy
altitude.
Miles against New Mexico, Matthew. Can they keep it close? It is 15 out there right now, a little bit of 14 and a half
Yeah, big number.
in Albuquerque.
I like Timmy Miles and co. Obviously, Mexico's playing very well. Came back home after the VCU game. That was sort of a potential letdown spot. They won pretty comfortably against, I would say, a similar caliber FGCU team. I just wish the San Jose State team could defend a little better. Like as a dog, they've historically been a little more defensive minded, but the last couple of years they've just been they have to outscore or score with you to stay close. I still lean their way, but the DNA of the San Jose State team is not as not what I love as much as a dog as I have in past years.
Not as gritty. Not as
That was
gritty.
pretty.
Okay, I'm going to field
No
this one
Robert
from Julian.
Viola or who are their other bigs?
Vi
Yeah, Viola.
Viola's
Thank
on
you.
Minnesota now, but
Minnesota. Yeah,
uh, I'm going to field this one from Julian. He asked if Louisville covers off a loss. They've got Montana coming to town. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I like Montana here. I think they can score enough to hang around. No Michael Brown Jr., no Kobe Rogers. That really hurts the Louisville like firepower and depth. I'm sure Conwell and McNeely will make a billion threes, and this will still hurt. But I also weirdly like Montana off losing to Montana Tech. Like I
agreed.
think they've got a little bit of pride to show here, and I just think the number's huge. I know it's going to be an up-tempo game. It's a high total, but 30 points is a lot for a fairly well-coached Montana team that actually has a little bit of talent.
With some time. I agree. Totally agree. I like Montana a lot here, actually.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
force me to take Montana, guys.
I'm not
It's
going
Don't.
to force
30.
you.
Kai, it's 30 points. It's 30.
Fine.
Hey, Ohio covered it,
I'll
Louisville.
bet it.
Yeah, there we go. Good, good, good.
I
Yeah, what was
again
Ohio getting that? I know.
historically
They
bad
were
at
catching
11 a.m. ball games. Historically
I
bad.
know.
All right.
I agree.
My friend Matt is in Chicago, but Kai from Matt in Texas in the
Okay.
chat, Northeastern at Syracuse.
Oof. Nothing.
There's a little bit of sky is falling element to the Syracuse fan base after losing to Hofstra, but Northeastern still missing for the entire season their best player, in my opinion, L.A.
Yeah,
Pratt.
he is.
16 and a half points right now. Donnie Freeman seemingly just going to be held out till league play
I
or something.
I don't think he's back. Um, man, I don't like laying with Syracuse above double digits, frankly, especially
Don't
above
do it.
15. I would lean towards Northeastern. If anything, I did not take anything though.
Yeah,
Okay,
Northeastern.
Matthew, from Tinley Monk, I believe a Chicago resident like us. Marquette, do they have any chance of hanging around at Creighton? We just watched Creighton have their best performance of the year. Marquette, I'm not sure, has a game they could call their best performance. So what do you think here? 7.5, 8 is the number.
Yeah, I liked it at 8. I'm not chasing a bad number with Marquette.
7, no. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not doing it. So easy pass for me. I think a lot sets up well for Marquette here as a dog to play competitively. Maybe their ball pressure plays up. And I just maybe Sean Jones fully healthy can elevate this team eventually, but we just haven't seen it yet. So I'm not
Yeah,
gonna rush to get
the
there.
Shaka as a dog thing hasn't had the
Done.
same luster this year with
Not this year.
an
Not
utter
with this
lack of
team.
talent. Okay, Kai, we have a game that I just like seeing Rutgers as a double-digit favorite right now against anybody with a pulse is surprising to me. But from Jay Rush, he asked about Rutgers laying right now 11.5 or 12 against Fran McCaffrey's Penn boys.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like Syracuse. It's like why lay double digits to the team you don't trust? I don't think Penn's very good. Coming into the year, I thought they were pretty horrible, and they have not competed with Providence, with Villanova. Those teams are a lot better than Rutgers, but I'm not excited to back them either. So it's a full stay away from me. I guess lean towards Penn if gun to my head.
Yeah, Ethan Roberts missed last game for Penn. I don't know his status. They need him. He is their best player, highest
He is
usage guy.
huge. Yes.
Yes. So got to check up on him if you want to back Penn. If he's out, I can understand trying to take the athleticism advantage with Rutgers. One last one, Matt, I think in the chat here from David Martell, Fresno State and UNLV. We are covering the entire Mountain West slate today. What do you think, Mr. Cox?
Slight lean to Fresno. UNLV to me is just a very bad favorite. Obviously, their injuries have played part in that, but just the way Pastner plays and coaches, and their guards are a little bit erratic. And Fresno's got size this year. Like I know they've been kind of a weird team, but they do have some size. I think Fresno's a dog's a good look here.
Okay. All right. We got a couple more that rolled in late. So, Kai, rapid fire. Can Lemoyne hang with St. Bonaventure? I kind of liked the under. What do you think?
Yeah, boy, getting some tough ones here. I do not have a take in this game either. I've been historically wrong on Lemoyne every game. 20 points seems high. I agree. Would lean their way. But again, I'm wrong on Lemoyne almost every game.
Yeah, it's tilted. Money's tilted a little towards Bonaventure. Just kind of, I think, normal betting, but
Yeah.
I don't have a strong take. Matthew, to you for Troy and Marshall. Troy has played some of the best games of the entire season so far this year. Really good at playing up against competition. What do you think against Marshall?
Stay away from me. I like this Marshall team. I don't want to back them against Troy on the road in a 4-point conference game. I obviously respect Troy and Scott Cross too much, but I think Marshall's pretty good, and I respect them. And I won't be. I'm trying not to fade them much this year in conference, especially. Big team.
David Martell asked about NCCU against Longwood. I really like NC Central there. I think Longwood's a little erratic and really super young coach. I kind of like that NC Central team. I've been higher than them or than the market on them all season.
Yeah, me too.
Betting a decent amount. It's not been like horrible, Kai. They're 4-5, but
Are
against
they?
the spread,
Feels like
4-5.
I've lost every game on them. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
well,
on my
picking
note
the
bet
wrong
list,
ones, I
Jim.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Lavelle Moten just has lost the luster there. Remember when he just had like a 5-year run of dominance in that
Yes,
conference?
I do. And
It's kind of
I
the
expect that to continue.
Him and Ron Hunter. It's like every year they'll be good, but this year it's just different for both teams.
All right, let's go to best bets. And I saw Juvie So Groovy asked about Buffalo. I took the under as a best bet in that game. I don't think we have anything strong on the side. Maybe a slight lean to the Bulls. But under 150.5 was one of my best bets. I'm also going to take the Mercyhurst under. A super slow team, just crawls it up the floor. Binghamton's pretty bad defensively, but they're just bad at everything. And I've had them overrated quite a bit in the market
Me
this
too.
season. And I got a win with them at Georgetown, and that convinced me they were competent. And then
Yeah.
ever since then, they have tried hard to convince me they are not competent. But
Yeah.
at 135 at a few different shops right now, so I will lock in Binghamton and Mercyhurst under 135. Heavily pace influence there. Might come up with the third one, but Matt, I'll kick it to you now to unveil however many best bets you have.
I am going to take, as I discussed, Ball State first half +5
Oh, that is a best bet. Okay.
against Miami. And then I'm going to take Maryland first half as well against Virginia. So I feel like kind of two sucker spinny plays, but I think both those teams, at least for a half, can compete. You don't think
Not
so?
Not sucker. Come on.
It is spinny Saturday, so I think we got to stick true to the
Are they
the
spinning if
script.
you're
I don't
backing
think
the dog
you're
in
taking a
both?
dog. It's not spinny by
You think
definition.
so? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. It just they feel obvious. They feel suckery,
Really?
spinny in a sense. Yes,
Interesting.
I think they do.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
Kai,
just two
what
for
about
me.
you?
I almost added Pepperdine. That was a fringe ad, but not a best bet. So I want to throw it out there. So in case if that wins, I get credit for it. But if it loses, it was not a best bet. So
I think Matt was lamenting about betting a team over and over again. I forgot who it was. I had a thing. Well, I'm doing that with Central Michigan again, guys. Even though I've lost a lot of money on them, I continue to think they're not horrible, and I don't think NIU is any good. So I took Central Michigan +2.5 as a best bet. They are on the road. I don't think they're total dog water. I watched them against South Alabama. I was like, this team can compete. I think Raheem is a really good coach. They have not been very good lately. I cannot believe they're like bottom 30 in the country right now. That's just not where I think they are. So in conference play, I have a little more confidence in them. This might be my last shot on them. +2.5 against NIU.
I think
like
CMU
that
and
start of
Denver,
a new
both
season.
coaches are just like they just don't have the talent this year.
I think that's part
the
of it.
issue.
They're both
Yeah.
so bad defensively.
Defensively is the
Have
issue.
no
Yeah.
athletes. Yeah.
Fat Brooks. That's Central Michigan's guy. Lead me to the promised land.
Adley,
Former
yeah.
Michigan guy. Yeah. Okay, fellas, that does it. That does it.
Kai, I'm gonna add one more.
Okay.
It's gonna be Jack State aside
Yeah.
here. Jacksonville State +11.5. I actually let me double check if that's what it is right now. But against East Tennessee State, just like the one that was farthest off my numbers
Yep.
from a side. I don't think they're that far apart. So I will take plus 11.5 with the Gamecocks against East Tennessee State. So that's my 3-pack.
Oh, I have my sorry, forgot to add my last one. Elon. I think they're good. Playing Virginia Tech, got the size. They both teams run pretty intricate, like off-ball movement. I think it's just kind of an execution-based game back and forth. I think the dog keeps this one close. Elon and Marshall, kind of two teams I've been
I think you
like,
have
oh, this seems
14 if you want it, Matt.
I want 14,
Okay.
and I will take 14.
Smart man.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that does it. Thank you for joining the Best Bet Show. We will be likely back next week with a podcast on Friday, possibly a Best Bet Show Saturday, depending on slate, size, and scheduling. We'll let you know. Jim's Packers versus my Bears tonight. Very exciting game. Check it out. The Bears are a favorite for the first time since 2018. That's got to be a good sign. A little bit nervous about that one. Till then, cheers. Enjoy college basketball. Enjoy the holidays. Happy holidays from the Weave to you. And we will see you next time. Cheers. Jim has to end the stream.
Tried. I think it's over. If you can
Oh, is
still
it
see
over?
this.